This week, on Monday, on Beware of Spoilers, we'll be talking about Season 2, Episode 1 of The Last of Us. And on 30-Minute Reviews, we'll be talking about Mission Impossible 2. On Tuesday, on the Backlog Files, we'll be talking about the new indie game Bookbound. On Wednesday, on Beware of Spoilers, we'll be talking about Daredevil Born Again, the Season 1 finale. On Thursday, also on Beware of Spoilers, we'll be talking about the new movie Sinners with Michael B. Jordan, directed by Ryan Coogler. And on Sunday, we'll be rounding out the week with Season 2, Episode 2 of the revival on Disney Plus of Doctor Who, also on Beware of Spoilers. As always, you can keep track of our schedule on mwpnews.com. Good morning, and welcome to the Backlog Files. I am Adam with this, an extra episode that I was not anticipating doing. Like I said, I'm Adam, and we are here to talk about a new game that came out from Akupara Games, Repose. And per FTC regulations, and I think just good journalism, it's worth noting that this game was provided free of charge by the people at Akupara for review purposes, and we thank them for that. Now, let's talk about Repose. If you've listened to this show, or Beware of Spoilers or 30-minute reviews, you know I am not a big horror fan. I'm atmospheric horror. Like, the most I'll dip into horror is, I guess we can call Minecraft a survival horror game. Like, that's kind of as deep as I go. But I saw this, and I was interested, because the art style was kind of interesting, and it reminded me of games I used to play when I was a kid, these exploration games where it's like you would click to move ahead, click to move sideways, that kind of thing. And it's described as kind of a dungeon crawler, but I think that's kind of a misrepresentation of what the game is. It's kind of a puzzle game more than anything else. You are a person who has been hired to work at a company that, your job, I don't know how to describe what the company does. Your job is to collect oxygen canisters that have been abandoned by other people who work for the company who have been killed in the line of duty. Um, so you're going to go through, you're going to collect these oxygen canisters, and then you're going to move through the story and try to unlock the secret of what's going on here, because it's a very weird situation all around. You have a friend who's a woman who works for the company, and you have the guy who previously held your job, who's talking to you, and you are trying to unravel this mystery. And the reason I say it is a kind of atmospheric horror kind of puzzle game is the gameplay is you move forward and you have a finite amount of energy. And you have to find a route through that will get you to the next bed, to the next waypoint, because you replenish your energy by sleeping. You have to do that um, within a certain number of steps. If you go over that number of steps, you are, you pass out, you go back to the previous bed. So it's a very satisfying gameplay loop as you figure out what it is. I wouldn't call it a dungeon crawler necessarily. I think dungeon crawler, I think like a roguelike. I don't think this necessarily fits that mold, because it's a preset path that you're going to do every time, and there's minimal combat. Like, the combat feels more like having to keep track of the puzzle, because it's like there are like three types of enemies. One you kill with an axe, one you shoot, because if you try to hit it with the axe, it's just going to use these tentacles to stop you. And then one, there's another variant too, where it's like it looks like that, but if you shoot it, it kind of balloons up and it doesn't get to use the axe to kill it. There's another that is two stage with this thing above it. You have to shoot it first and then shoot it again. Um, and then there's like mimics that you have to deal with. It's an interesting world they've built out. But I wouldn't call it a dungeon crawler, because again, nothing is randomized, nothing is really different playthrough to playthrough. It's just you're playing through the story each time, kind of the same. And the story is kind of short, which I'm willing to forgive um, a short gameplay experience, because I think the world is beautifully rendered. Everything is handcrafted pixel art, and it is just gorgeous beginning to end. Um, would I have liked to stay in this world longer? Yes. Would I have liked a little bit more time to develop the characters? Also, yes. Because like fundamentally, I do think there's a problem where your character is a little too trusting in the situation, where it's like, this is a weird thing that you're doing. It's a very weird all around situation, and kind of like it's designed to be scary. You have this flashlight that you can see things a little farther away. It's designed to try and be this scary environment, yet your character is kind of just thrust into it and is like, these are people you should trust, and it's like, should I though? Should I trust these people? Um, and I think that if the game was a little longer, you would have more time to really lay out what it is that, with these characters to make your character trust them and all of that. It's like, okay, yeah, he held the job you have now before you, but like, can we trust him? Like, it's a very weird situation all around, and I think that that's something that if the game was longer, it would have been better. I also think the puzzle diversity is a little bit lacking. It's a very like there are very few items in the game. There's the gun, there's the axe, there's the flashlight, there's tea that you can collect to replenish your energy. Um, and there isn't really like there's a set way through each area, but there isn't really a set there is no deviating from the way that the game wants you to take. There's a preordained path, and that's the path you got to take. Which is again another reason why I'm hesitant to say this is a dungeon crawler, because there is no real benefit to exploring, especially considering that like you have to get to the end by a certain number of steps, and if you don't, then you don't make it. The only thing you end up doing by exploring is pushing yourself into a situation where you need to rerun again, because almost every single thing you go through is a dead end. Like all these little areas, like, oh, okay, well, I'll go over here. Oh, that's a dead end. Fuck. All right, we'll move on. Okay, well, we'll go over here. Oh, fuck, that's a dead end too. All right, well, moving on. Um, there's a map you can look at to kind of try and play where you are. If you drink the tea, it'll show you where you are on the map, so you can kind of plan it out a little bit. But if you don't have tea, then you can't see where you are on the map. Um, but I will say this was a mostly enjoyable experience. Um, and I think what makes it enjoyable is this art style. Without the art style, I think this would be a mostly forgettable game. I think that it is carried by this art style. At the price, I would say this is a worthwhile playthrough for a playthrough. I mean, you'll if you enjoy puzzle games, I think you'll enjoy this. Because while there isn't a great diversity of enemies, there is a great diversity of environments. I think they do a great job of laying out these various environments and making them look vibrant, even in this black and white pixel art style. Um, so I think this is a worthwhile experience. I would say it's a 3 out of 5 on our scale. Um, so 3 stars. Check it out though. It's on Steam. You can play it for I think it's like $6.99. I would recommend playing it. Um, I think it's even on sale now. It might be actually be $7.99. But either way, it's definitely worth checking out, I think. For anyone who enjoys puzzle games. And that's the thing. Don't go into this expecting a dungeon crawler, because I think you will be disappointed if that's what you're looking for. If you go into it expecting a moderately, you know, a moderate difficulty puzzle game, I think you'll find something to enjoy. Um, but we'll wrap up there for today. Our next episode will be on Tuesday of next week. We'll be talking about Merchant 64, another indie game. But until then, have a great rest of your week.